Yeah, so here we are, Louise.
We're above the subway. I'm sitting here with Terry Reid in the cellar of City Winery in New York. And people are going to come and go because we're backstage. And that's what people do.
As long as they don't come up through from the subway, we're all right.
Yeah, we're hearing the subways underground.
That's cool.
This is great because Terry and I go back a long way, although we didn't really meet each other because I wrote a song a long time ago in the 80s,
right,
with Reed Savage called 5th of July. And then all of a sudden, Rob Dickens at Warner Brothers said, "Hey, you've got to hear this. Terry Reid has recorded your song with Trevor Horn."
Oh, he didn't tell you I was doing it.
And I remember just sitting there being so thrilled to hear it. Yeah, but you said you wanted the lyrics, you never got the lyrics.
I kept saying to Rob, well, Rob is an act on his own. And at Warner Brothers, he signed me to Warner Brothers, which was wonderful. I knew Rob when he was the entertainment director at Loughborough University in the north of England. We got into a bit of a dodgy sort of area because what happened was there was 2 times they cross-booked us with another university or college. Mm-hmm. So 2 times I couldn't do the gig. And it's ironic how sometimes these things will happen is when people can't get... Don't get me wrong, I'm not boasting, but when they can't get something, they want it more.
Yeah. When
we finally did the gig, it was sold out, so sold out, it was ridiculous. We ended up doing it 4 times that year, right? I don't know what happened, right? Yeah. I turned up, I couldn't believe I couldn't get in the building, right? But he was the entertainment director. Now, I didn't know this, but his brother is Barry Dickens. I didn't realise how it's all interwoven. Mm-hmm. This is a good story, actually. Now, Barry Dickens, when I first went to London in my little self at 15, right, literally, he booked all the gigs. It's Harold Davidson organisation, which booked Tom Jones, the Kinks, the Rollins, you name it. I mean, I can't think of who else. Freddie and the Dreamers, the Searchers, the Hollies, I booked everybody in England, the biggest thing, especially Tom Jones, and all that thing. Right? So when I joined that agency, I worked like crazy. But I didn't know when Rob Dickens called me one day and said, and I was living in Laurel Canyon at the time, up near where up near Appian Way. And I was living up there, and I get a phone call from Rob Dickens, and him and Barry didn't talk. It's one of them brother things. Mm-hmm. I went, oh my God, here we go. And I says, oh, Barry's brother. Yeah, right. I went, oh God, I haven't blown it. Yeah. And he says, can I come up and see you? Do you want to make a record? And I hadn't made a record. And I said, well, are you serious? He said, yeah. I said, I'd love to make a record. And he said, all right, well, can I come and I'll work it out with you and we'll get going? I went, well, how do we get together? Because I thought, well, he's in England. He says, well, I'm at the bottom of the road. He's at the country store down there, right? He said, I'll come up now. Yeah. And I went, what are you doing at the country store? He said, well, I was just seeing if you were home. I was going over at the valley and I sort of stopped and called. Comes up, we did the deal. So that was the great part.
You did the deal at the Canyon Country Store?
Yeah, well, no, more or less. He did because he's on the phone. But the great thing was I'm just at Wonderland. So he's just right up the road. We figured the whole thing out, the money and everything, and it was great, and it all looked really good. And I think I was working with Trevor Horn, though, was very time-consuming, I loved it, and he's brilliant, but he has his own vision over whatever he takes on, mm-hmm. which is one has to just sort of be ready for. Mm-hmm. Like your song, okay, this is what we're talking about, is they gave me this song by Louise, and I went, that's fantastic, which it was totally different, right? And I said, that's a great song, right? And we all do this. When you hear it, I said, okay, get me the lyric, and away we go. We're off to the races, mm-hmm. right? And I went, right. So Rob said, yeah, well, I work on it. I went, you just listen to the record. You can hear her singing. She's pronounces words. I said, of course she does, right? I listened. So what I thought Louise said, you've got to laugh. When we first got together here, I sent her a tape of what I'm singing, right? And you could hear the words other than all the echo with Trevor, right? She sent me, she's being very, very nice. She didn't say, what the hell are you doing? She sent me an email with the real lyrics on it. And I just about passed out. I said to my wife, I said, Oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to look her in the eye after that. How did I hear that?
I always just thought you were taking poetic license and you wanted to change.
No.
Yeah.
Rob is just so busy. He's too busy to get me the lyric of your song. And he wouldn't give me your phone number. That was otherwise I called you and said, hey, give me the lyric.
Yeah, I wish he had. And you told me this great story when we were doing the Alex Theater, when we were doing the benefit for autism for the band.
Yeah.
Yes, with Garth Hudson. You came and played this beautiful song, Falling in Love in Old San Juan.
In San Juan? Oh, you remember that?
I remember it well. And you said that when you first heard it, it was all in Portuguese.
Yes.
And you tried to get it translated, and you told me you got the phone number of the songwriter.
That's right.
You just called up directly. You went straight to the...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he's a Brazilian guy, actually, right, who wrote the song. And he's lovely. And the thing that puzzled me, though, was when he came round my house to play it to me, I was just, when you see one of those Yoshie Fruchter or Louise Goffin, one of those... guitar players, you watch them and you can't figure out anything they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm watching him play, and I've got to learn the song, and it went on and on and on, and I got so wrapped up with him with the guitar that I finally, got the lyric of what the thing meant,
Yeah. It's amazing, and then it was just great to finally meet you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Good gift.
That's Wesley Stace, who just walked in.
Yeah.
With his lovely daughter.
Yeah.
Hello.
There you go. Isn't she just...
We're here at City Winery doing the Cabinet of Wonders.
Yeah, the Cabinet of Wonders.
Yes. The Wonders Cabinet of Wonders.
That's sort of like, what closet did you come out of, right?
We're talking about current things, but really, it's interesting whenever I get together with you because you always have all these amazing stories historically. You always tell these stories. Like you told me the story when we were rehearsing once about being in a flat in London and waking up and Donovan saying, I've got this song to play.
Oh, my God.
And he played you there.
We were at Donovan's house.
Yeah.
And we'd all smoked so many hash joints. Donovan had the best hash in England, right? And all of it, those who knew, I knew Don because I was with. So he rolled. He said, no, the only guy I knew that rolled bigger joints than Don was Bob Marley, and that was way later.
Yeah.
But you don't want to smoke one of them. That's like a rocket ship, So anyway, we got these. We'd sit there, and Don was busy doing something upstairs, and I've nodded out on his cushions at his house. I'm laying there. And I woke up, he comes down, he says, it's me and Graham Nash, actually. And he says, I want to play this song to you. He says, see what you think. And I says, okay. And he says, okay, well, I don't know. Let's roll another joint. So he kept rolling the joint. And I'm going, God, I said to Graham, I wish he'd get on with it. And he finally gets on with it. And he sits down and he's playing this song. Roll like a star with my fancy, I open my eyes to take a peek, to find that I was by the sea, racing with tranquility. It was then when the hurdy-gurdy man. And he kept going and going. Me and Graham were like, it was so stuck. I'm going, are we hearing things? What the hell? Something wrong with us. It couldn't be done. And he got it from some Scottish traditional singer that he'd heard that did all these vibrato like this. So he gets to the end and he looks at us and says, what do you think? What do you think of the song? And we sat there and Graham said, I don't really know. We were so messed up. We couldn't figure out. He says, and he got a bit upset about it and went back upstairs. So, oh dear.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Don's a real sweet soul. He's lovely. He's always been great.
I was lucky to play on a few shows with him, actually, to sing with him as a guest.
Yeah, really?
A few shows, a couple of years ago.
Oh, wow.
It was a delight. Yes. I love that.
He did that with me. We were doing these gigs at a place, The Joint in LA, off Robertson.
Oh, that's a great place.
Yes, we had 3 years Monday night. It was me and Waddy Whitehall and Rick Rosas, who was with Neil.
I saw Waddy play there. It was amazing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I was in that band. Everybody was in that band.
Oh, fantastic.
No guitar. Waddy says, lose the guitar. Oh, no, thanks a lot. Mind you, he didn't realise what he'd done when he said lose the guitar, because I turned into Jack Benny or something. When it cuts you loose and that, you've got to do something with your hands. So, which that never bothered me. You know, some people, if you take the guitar away, they'll stand there like a nun, you know. But that never bothered me. I'll play you some of the videos. Somewhere you'll crack up laughing. Very funny.
We're sitting here backstage, but Tammy Faye Starlite is sitting over there on the couch. Yeah, there's just talent walking in and kind of taking over. We're going to have to probably wrap this up so people can have their backstage
back. What are they doing? They're going to.
Here comes the subway. Can you feel it?
There it is. God.
It's like the water's moving. The beers are moving. Yeah. Everything's happening.
It's like a 3.5 at my house.
The goldfish are going to start doing acrobatics inside the...
It's still New York.
Yeah, it's New York. I like that.
Well, you don't have earthquakes, so you got to have something moving.
Got to have a subway. Yeah. I want to talk about your beginnings, because the river is so amazing. I mean, you have so many amazing songs, and then you just seem to be at that point in rock music with all these amazing English bands.
I was just thrown in. I was in the middle of it, you know, really.
Yeah.
I grew up in the middle. I didn't realise that I grew up from the age of 15, right in the middle of with the Stones. I went on tour with the Stones, you see. So that's about, at that time, Let's Spend the Night Together, or Have You Seen Your Mother, Baby, Stand in the Shadows. I mean, they were getting this. It wasn't just Not Fade Away and a blues song. Now they're getting contemporary things about mothers that take too many pills and like do too much of everything. They're getting really bizarre, right? So I joined up with them. Well, I was on the show, you know, but you get to hang out with them all the time, you know. You see how they live what they were, you know. That's what they are, you know. Mm-hmm. It's just insane. Then I toured with them in '69, and things had got deeper, you know. So I spent half of my life being on tour with all them people. And people said, well, where did you go in the late 80s and 90s? I said, well, I moved to the mountains. And I figured, well, you know, I always would like to make some albums and things, but there's never any time. We'd like to sit down and see about this writing, whatever they call it, seriously, spend the time. Mm-hmm. Seriously, and you know how it is, Louise. If you don't carve the time for it, you'll never get it done. Writing on the road is only accidental songs, really, you know. Yeah. I don't know how Willie Nelson. That's just Willie, you know. Even I mean, he's just brilliant. He's just brilliant at everything. He's just a walking song, you know. But it's amazing all the people you get to know all the time. But I always see the funny side of things. So everybody has a really funny side, even though the ones that are very serious and, you know, warm up too quick. There's still a funny side to them. Or there's something funny about it, you know.
So were you opening for the Rolling Stones when you got asked to join Led Zeppelin and didn't?
That was the first tour. No, the first tour, Jimmy Page was in the Yardbirds with Jeff Beck. That's how I got to know him real well. Also, he was managed by Peter Grant and Mickey Mouse. I was managed by him, right? So I'd known him for a long time in the studios and like John Paul Jones was Donovan's bass player. And when he said he was putting a group together, I said, well, what's the group? And he says, well, I've got John Paul Jones on bass. I went, what's this, the Incredible String Band? I didn't know. I said, well, yeah, I thought you would have a rock and roll thing going. Yeah. And he was just rushing around trying to put a group together, right? I was going on tour with the Rolling Stones, right?
And that's
in
big.
96. Oh, money. I said, well, all you got to do is pay me what they pay me and call Keith up and tell him I'm not coming. As I hide under the table if he's going to do it. I don't have to call Keith. I said, yeah, I bet not. Yeah, he'll shoot you in the leg. You know, with Keith. I never had a contract with the Rolling Stones. All the times I worked with them, never. Like every penny they ever said they'd pay me, and all the perks and everything else, but never had a contract. Some people, I look at the contract and go, that's not right. I'm missing some money.
Right.
You know how that goes, right?
Right. So they were honourable.
They're honourable with the clutch of the people they work with. It's a family. They're like, you know. And there was Ike and Tina Turner. I get to meet all these incredible idolised people Tina was just she's just something else, you know. You meet Tina Turner or Aretha Franklin, who I know well, and it's just I'm quitting.
You know,
I'm in the wrong game.
You just said you know Aretha well. Do you
Yeah.
know her well? Really?
Yeah. And you probably.
Well, I sat next to her.
Yeah, she's tough. No, she don't make too much. She makes all the conversation if there is any.
She talked about not liking to travel, liking to stay in Detroit.
You know, she called my little white boy, she calls me, which I take very endearingly.
Calls you a what?
Little white boy. Hey, mate, come on, my little white boy, come over here. She's like, I've known her since a long while ago, since the 70s, you know. And, through because I was signed to Arm at Ertigan. So, well, I don't know, I was on stage one night in a club in London called the Revolution Club. Some people would remember. It's like a semi-private club. And I'm standing up there and I'm doing my thing, having a good old time. And look out in the audience, and I see this dark lady in the audience, start smiling, having a drink, and whooping it up. And I go, you know what, Louise? That lady, she looks awfully like Aretha Franklin. That could be Aretha Franklin. In my mind, it's not Aretha. But I've never seen anybody that looks that much like Aretha Franklin. Then when I saw who was sitting next to her, I went, wait a second, that's Armit Ertigan from Atlantic, isn't it? And I said, oh no, I don't think I can handle it. I finished the set, and Armit goes, come over here, I want to talk to you, right? I come out, and she goes, hey, my little white boy, come on, sit down here. I just freaked. I'm not worthy. Wayne's World, right? I just could not believe it, right? And she was like that. She was having a good old time, you know. And so having drinks with her, I go, everybody's looking at me like, and I'm going, I don't know. You know. And then I met her on a Stones tour, and, you know, as we went along later on. You know, here, my white boy, come here. Everybody go. He don't look at me like that. You know, how do you know Aretha? I said, don't ask me. You know, lovely people.
Yeah,
I mean, she is the goddess of soul. You know, she is the queen.
Yes.
You know, I never met Ray Charles, but I would love to have met Ray Charles.
Yeah.
But you know, you get in there with all these people, and they all know each other so well. You get that, don't you, Louis? You get that feeling that you know them just a little bit anyway.
I always feel like the kid on the scene when I'm around.
Yeah, me too. I've always been the kid on the scene, no matter who it was. You know, exactly. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Because they're all special. Anybody that's done well or made, how would you say, made a big notable effect on people has my blessing in this business, because anybody who's successful is I get on my blessing to be. It's not, I know, but firsthand how not easy it is. But you just got to love what it is you do. That's all.
Well, yeah, every moment is new, really.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and that's one of the blessings of not being humongous famous. Because
Yeah.
you really have the ability to reinvent yourself, which is harder.
That's
to do.
very true. A lot of our friends, you know, that get that status and that fame, and then that goes away because of a generation or something. It's very, very hard to get inside your head and reinvent. You have to go back to what you liked in the first place, or your influences, and be a real person about it. You could always turn a corner, and you know when you've turned a corner, because the basic thing is with the big multiple fan audiences of large, you know, enormous groups, you know, is like Keith Richards, for instance. It's a good example, because when Myk don't want to do anything, or he wants to not tour, you know, I think the reason he does is because Keith will go off and do something else. When those solo albums he does really lay out a pattern of how distinctive he is in his own right. It's never like the Rolling Stones. These solo albums are totally different than Rolling Stones. I love that. Yeah,
but you write a lot, right?
Yeah. I'm always coming up with something. I was just talking about that diverse mental attitude of, well, let's go there. I don't know, I haven't tried that.
Go somewhere new.
You go somewhere new, and then you go, well, maybe I'm not cut out for it. Well, if you don't know, if you don't try, right?
Right. So you have all these unrecorded songs, but you tour a lot. So you play these unrecorded songs.
Well, what happens is I'll be in the mood one night, and I'll go, you know what, I fancy playing that one. So I'll just play it solo within a solo batch.
Something that's never been recorded.
Yeah, and I'll just, you know, so I can sharpen it up a bit. You know, maybe get it a bit more honed, right? And everybody, and you know how that is. Like you were just saying to me about people love something they know.
Yes.
Like songs. Now there's two lines I thought on this. It's difficult to play a song to somebody that is reminiscent totally, and it isn't the song that they know.
Right.
It's a tough game, that one. I've got a couple I'll play you, which is I purposely, one I call Don't Know Why. It's a story about guys with girls. They always, when they finally meet a girl that what is going on, they can't talk to her. It's like they're all like full of it before, but then they freeze, and then the girl's kind. Well, I like it, but he's a bit of a dog. He said, "Why wouldn't he come over here and say something?" You know, that sort of thing. But I based it upon somebody said to me, "Write a torch song." Do 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 do. Ba 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 ba. Right, sorry, on torch song. I thought, yeah, no problem. 3/4. One of the hardest things I ever did. Everything, because your mind goes to the one that you like the best, or it sounds like something, it looks like, it feels like, and then you change the arrangement, or you change the instruments. It's a lot of work to get away from that song, you know. And it's interesting because you go around and around and around. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you this one, just a couple of. But then when you sing, it's the same chords as 3,000.
It's all buzzing down here in the City Winery basement.
Well, I don't know why I'm shy about you. There ain't no thought of words you said, but with my eyes just keep on glancing, just to get close to that sweet warmth of yours again. I go ask my friends, you know what I mean, right?
What is that?
It's a song I wrote, you know.
It's beautiful.
But it's just, but what it is like, darling, you
But
sent me.
I didn't get that.
You put it on like a set of clothes makes you feel a certain way. And you wear it like clothes, and then the other ones, as I play it, every time I play it, I come up with another song, like, how about this? Well, there a summer place. See, all of those songs in that period were all around them chords. Some nights I'll get on that song to do it, and I'll come up with 6, 7 songs that are that one turn of chord. But then I'll do, well, I don't know why, right? And they'll go, oh, who did that one? Then you've got another song, right? I finally found one that wasn't one of the other songs, right? You know, and you know because people will pull you on it right away, right? Yeah, oh, I love it. You know what it's like out there. It's so quiet, and it's peaceful, and it's clean, and you know. I know when you get the snowbirds come in, own houses there, and then you go to the store, and but it's nothing like any cities. I was brought up in the middle of nowhere anyway. You know, I was brought in a village where you can hear the pigeons cough at night. You know, that's a pigeon, no. It's so quiet. It's way in the middle of nowhere, right? So it really is quiet. The only thing you hear is everything else that lives there that comes out. Badgers, and bats, loads of different, 3 different kinds of bats, owls, like 5 different kinds of owls, and all sorts of night birds, like nightjars, and I know every bird that flies and everything that walks or crawls, you know.
It's almost mystical there.
It really is, and it's very, very old country where I live out in the Fens in England. It goes back to the Iceni tribes before the Romans came there, you know, and actually got a little normality going on. But these tribes, English, it's like Monty Python. They do skits on it. It's like they want nothing to do with all this normality. It's like, go away. It's still an inherent thing about that, you know. But you got to laugh. The Monty Python that bring it up all the time. There you go, guys. You got room now? We'll give you some room.
Yeah, the band is all walking in. So.
Hey, look at that. Get in there.
I'm like carrying for 2 around here.
Yeah, we got an upright bass. We got.
Yeah, just don't get in that Woody Allen movie.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever see that?
No.
Broadway Danny Rose. He just for a joke. All those places in New York, the rehearsal rooms, is rows and rows and rows. He calls up every cello and upright bassist he knows and says, "I've got a gig for you," right? And sends them all.
I know this story. There was a jazz violinist named Joe Venuti. Who's famous for these kind of pranks.
Oh.
And so he's like, "Hey, I got a gig. Can you meet me at the corner store?"
God.
Like 8 guys or 30 guys show up and like, "Hey."
But they're filming them on the subway, right? All of them. There's like 10 of them on the same subway going to the place.
Yeah. Oh. His other famous joke was he was on a gig with a bass player, and every night it was like a standing around. He poured a cup of sand into the bass, and so after.
It got heavier.
Guys like, man, I can't get on my bass. It's like,
God.
You're a guitarist?
Yeah. We've been overtaken here by the backstage. It's showtime.